Got this one.
Doc, you going?
Doc, you guys?
Sorry, tell me later.
Ready? 1, 2, right, that,
Soul vaccination. Soul vaccination. Soul vaccination. Soul vaccination.
Good morning. We don't usually play this early in the morning. But we are glad to be here on behalf of Yamaha Instruments. We have been playing Yamaha horns for well over 10 years. Our drummer plays Yamaha drums. Our keyboard player plays Yamaha synthesizers. We are a Yamaha act and we love their stuff. The way this is going to run today is we are going to play another one of the Tower Power horn licks. That's what we do at our clinics. We show up and we play a lot of the horn licks from Tower Power music so that these young people can see up close and personal what goes into the arrangements and the way we play this sort of original Tower Power soul music. And then after we do this next one, We're going to let each guy tell a little bit about how he came to play Yamaha, how he came to be in Tower Power real quickly, and we'll go through the five of us. We'll play one more thing for you, and then we're going to do a really quick question and answer thing. So start thinking now about your questions. I don't want to stand here and wait 5 minutes while you are all too shy to raise your hand. Okay, and then we'll play What Is Hip, and we're going to the airport. All right? So this is a song that Doc and myself wrote. Doc and myself are the main songwriters in the band. We write most of the material. I'm the band leader. I produce most of the records. This is a song from an album we did way back in the 70s. It was our third record, and it's called, the album was our third album. And this song, this was actually a single, but this is the horn licks from a song called This Time It's Real. We're going to play the intro, go right into the third verse, play the double chorus, the ride out, and the shout chorus, okay? See, 1, 2, This time it's real. On brass, this is Adolfo Acosta.
Yeah. Good morning. Hi. My name's Adolfo Acosta, as you said. It's true. Well, you know, I started playing Yamaha around 1988 when my previous horn got ripped off, and I bought a Yamaha that was the same weight as my box Strat, more or less. And I went, wow, I really like the sound of it. It was a lot better. I thought it sounded more like me, warmer. I just dug it. Then I went to North Texas, and somebody had a lighter weight Yamaha that they were trying to sell, and I said, well, let me try that, you know. And it made everything easier. Like, whoa, what is this? And they said, it's a Bobby Shoe model. I'm like, oh. And I was taking lessons from Bobby Shoe, and I told them how much the guy was selling it for. I said, well, if you just save a couple more bucks, you buy a brand new one. I bought it from Bob Malone's shop, actually, back at Van Nuys. The 6310Z, and it changed my life, actually. It was so much easier to play. It just spoke really fast, projected really well. And this one here, it's the updated model. It's called the 8310Z, and it's got a lighter weight bell, and it's got a big bell too. The Z horns have a larger diameter bell than the Z nose and the other horns. But it's a lightweight type of horn, commercial. It's really versatile, efficient. It's really efficient to play, and that's about it about this horn, I think, as far as I can remember. I'm kind of nervous talking about that. So, yeah.
And right next to Dolfo is our newest member on brass, Sal Cracchiolo.
I started playing Yamaha actually in '85. I was studying with Bobby Shue, and I played a Bach before that. And you know what? I was working with a Latin jazz group, Mojo Sanchez, and it just made my job easier. It had a sound. It just works with me. Trumpet is, you know, if you play trumpet, it's not an easy instrument, but this makes my life easier. And I got my first horn from Bob's shop. It was a 6310. Then I got the 6310B, 6310Z, 8310Z, and now I'm playing the Eric Mirashito model. And the horns just keep getting better and better. And I think the guys and I were talking, like the Japanese are just, you know, I mean, especially with Bob and everything, it's like they just keep, the instruments get better. And so you know, my whole life I've been a professional musician, and I could really afford any instrument, but way back in '85, it's like, this makes my life and job easier. And so I am sold on Yamaha. So thank you, Bob.
Next we'll do the lesser than senior member.
Yeah, okay.
This is our first tenor sax player, Tom Politzer. We call him Big Love.
So when I joined Tower Power, I was an old Selmer guy. I played old Selmer balanced actions, and like the most important thing for me in a saxophone was tone quality. That it got the best friggin' tone quality that you could get. And Ed Boyer came to me and he said, would you be interested in playing Yamaha saxophones? He said, you know, only if you like them. And I said, well, yeah, of course. And he sent me 6 saxophones, and I sat at home. And thanks, by the way, for sending me 6 saxophones. I really appreciated that.
We got 5 back.
Yeah. And I played them, and I just fell in love with this particular. I fell in love with all of them. Just tone quality and projection of this horn was, you know, it just cut my balance. I went like, I can definitely play this horn. And the other thing that got me right away was response. And what I mean by that is, like, when I'm changing octaves and going to different registers, the horn reacts like a sports car. If I want to play fast, it's easier to play faster passages on this horn than on my Selmer. It just responds faster. And then getting better, you know, I first got this was great, and then I realized that Yamaha's has all these different necks to kind of personalize your sound, and I started going through these necks, and then I ended up with this G3 neck with the Jeff Peterson modification. and it just keeps getting better and better. The tone quality of this horn compared to when I started playing, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I just totally love the horns. I mean, I can play any horn that I want. And I don't get, you know, these guys don't pay us to play the horns. I mean, I endorse this horn because I hardly believe in it, and I just, and you know, I've actually been thinking of selling my Selmers if anyone wants to buy them. For their personal, you know, collection.
Next up is my best friend for 45 years and my fellow bandmate and my songwriting partner. He's the senior member of our songwriting team, and he plays baritone sax. His name is Stephen Doc Kupka.
If you knew me before 1968, you can call me Steve. But since then, you call me Doc. My wife never called me Steve. Anyway, I started out on the oboe, and I want you to tell your students that they're an oboe player, they get interested in R&B, or, you know, big band, or anything where you play sax. Going from oboe to baritone sax is a great switch. But learn on alto, and then switch to bari once you learn how to finger thing. Anyway, I started playing Yamaha in 1993 when my Selmer got stolen, and Reuben Allen, who was my sax guy in Los Angeles, he only sold Yamahas. And at the time, I was not too pleased that I couldn't play a Selmer. But you know, I got to the Arsenio Hall show, and opened my trunk and there was no sax in there. So I had to do something fast, so I got a Yamaha. And I slowly grew to love it. And by the time we got endorsed, when Ed Boyer approached us, I was liking my Yamaha a lot. And then by that point, they had developed, made some alterations, and it was even better. So by the time we got endorsed, I can say that I like my Yamaha better than I like the Summer, and I can say that honestly. And we had a little fun because I had one a Yamaha for the road, and at home I still had a Summer. And so I'd call up John Wooden and say, listen, I'm going to be playing on the Jimmy Kimmel show for 1.8 million people tonight using my Summer. Is there any way I could get another Yamaha? Well, finally they gave me another, and I sold the Summer. I'm a total Yamaha guy now.
Okay, my name's Emilio Castillo. I'm the band leader for Tower Power, 45 years. I play second tenor saxophone. I don't consider myself to be much of a sax player. I'm a parts player, but that being said, I am a parts player in one of the most famous horn sections in the world. So it's really important that I play well, and that I play tight, and that I play in tune. And I'm ashamed to say it, but for a lot of my career, I played tight, and I played the parts well, but my intonation was not that great, and I was on a Selma. You know, granted, it wasn't that good a one, but that for me was the really big difference when I went to Yamaha. But let me just tell you about how I came to Yamaha, because that was interesting. I was the first one approached, and it was Ed Boyer that came to one of our gigs, and he asked me what I considered playing a Yamaha saxophone. Well, in the 80s, we toured for 4 years with the #1 group in the world at the time, which was Huey Lewis and the News. And doing our tour, about halfway through, we stopped at the Yamaha factory. And we went there, and we were making some good money, so I bought a Yamaha tenor. I thought I loved it. But to my chagrin, I had never really A-B'd it with my Silver. And one of the roadies there was asking me, after about 6 months of playing it, how do you like that new horn? He was a sax player. And I said, oh, I love it. He goes, really? He says, I played a lot of low notes on that gig. We would hit these big rock and roll power chords at the end, and I'd be on my low B. That was my thing in the section at the time. And he says, I don't think the low end is as good as your Selmer. And I pulled out my Selmer, and they beat him. And I agreed. I never played the Yamaha again. So now, Ed Boyer shows up, like, 15 years later, it's at the end of the, mid-90s, I guess, and he wants me to play Yamaha. And I told him flat out, I go, you know what, I played Yamaha. I didn't like it. And he says, well, we wouldn't ask you to play it if we thought you wouldn't like it. It's a completely different animal. And I said, well, I'll try it, but, I got to be honest with you, I'd love to have a free horn. Who would? Musicians, that's how we are, But I'm not going to play it just because it's free. I'm not going to tell people I love it because it's free. I got to dig it. So he says, no. We'll send you the horn. You tell me what you think. I played that horn, and immediately it was like after at that point I was.
That was the first custom,
I was
right?
about 35 years or 30 years in the business. I started playing in tune consistently from top to bottom. That was always my struggle. I could play in tune, but certain notes on the horn were not in tune. But what they do to these horns, it's like a laser beam, So now, flash forward, I get my Yamaha, love it, been playing it for years. About half a year ago, the guys were telling me, oh, we saw the guys over Yamaha, they made this new custom Z. Now, I gotta tell you, I love my horn so much at this point that I am not interested in any new horn. I'm just not. In my opinion, it cannot be improved upon. And so I'm doing this gig in San Diego, and Jeff Elliott comes by, and hey, Emilio, you want to try this new horn? Now Tom will try new horns all day long, but I'm not like that. But Jeff is there. I'm being polite. Okay. He breaks out the horn. I couldn't believe it. It's better than my other horn. I mean, I love my other horn. And on my other horn, I had done what Tom did. I got myself this neck. It's a silver neck, and it made my tone even bigger, even fatter, more edge. I love it, you know. So I play the horn, I'm astounded by the horn, and then he says, I brought some necks. Want to try some of these necks? Okay, you know. I go through 3 necks. Each one sounds better. Each one. I put on one, it's better. I put on the next one, it's better than that one. I put on the third one, it's better still. And then he hands me this gold one, and he says, here, try this one. And it's better still. And I go, well, which one is this? He goes, it's the one from the new horn you just played. You know, I was like, man, I cannot believe what you guys have done. These guys are scientists. I mean, what they're doing to these horns is just amazing. I love it so much. And so now I'm playing the new Custom Z, and I can't tell you, it's just the greatest horn. It makes, my gig is a really physical gig, you know. We're not just up there be-leady. I mean, we're dancing, I'm singing lead, I'm singing background parts in between, huffing and puffing, sweating all over the instrument, you know. It is consistently in tune, fat, big, edgy tone. I love it.
Oh, by the way, they go a long time before you have to tweak them or repair them too.
Yeah, I forgot to say something.
Yeah.
And that's, I want to thank Jeff Peterson and all the guys for being our guardian angels,
Yeah.
keeping us happening on the road. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, they have a great work ethic at Yamaha, and since we came to Yamaha, and mind you, probably could have been doing this our whole career, but we weren't. But now we do clinics consistently. You know, whenever we're out on the road, and logistically it works, we're over at a high school or at a music store like this, and we're doing these clinics. And all these young people are getting exposed to Tower and Power and the way we make music, you know. And we carry a really positive message. We tell them no drugs, no alcohol, no gangs, you know, align yourself spiritually, you know. So, you know, the support is always there. We get there, all the Yamaha instruments are laid out. Usually there's a rep there. You know, it's a really supportive company. Even when we go to Japan, especially when we go to Japan, it's amazing, you know, just the support we get from the company. So we love Yamaha. Let me just play, I'm going to play one more thing. We're going to do a song, you know, years ago, when I led the band and I hired Di, he came and auditioned. My thing was, we did these obscure soul tunes, and I would change them around. You know, I didn't want to be like the other bands. I didn't want to sound like the record. I wanted to make the beat different. I wanted to come up with different horn lines, make these little tweaked little background vocal parts, and that's what I did. One day he comes to me, he says, you know, what you're doing with these songs is amazing. But why are we doing it to somebody else's songs? Why don't we write our own? You know, I'm 17 years old. I don't think that thought would have ever occurred to me, you know? I was totally happy doing what I was doing. But I said, we can try that. And so we get together, and there was a song at the time, there was an album by Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions, and it had this really high trumpet intro. It went, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. I mean, we loved it, you know? So the first thing we say is, we got to write a trumpet intro. And so we write this tune. Well, it turns out to be this song called You're Still a Young Man. And when I do interviews, it's still to this day, if we don't play it, you know, we get lynched. And, you know, I tell people in my interviews, I wrote my first song, it's been downhill ever since. So this is the intro and the ride out to You're Still a Young Man. And let's do it a little up-tempo, so we're not dragging. All right, so I'll give you the cue like I do on stage. You're still a young man! question? We got to make this brief because we got to get to the airport. But anything you want to know about the band, the horns, whatever.
How do you play like that at 9:30? Trouble players.
With a wing and a prayer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir.
Accessories, like what mouthpiece you guys got on the horns?
I'm playing a Berg Larson. It's been worked on by Norbert Stachel, my former tenor player. He does really great work on mouthpieces. Bored it out, made it big. I play a Rico plastic cover, number 3 reed. And it gives me, you know, I have to look for a soft number 3. It's not a really strong number 3. You know? But if it works, I used to play 2.5s. And when Norbert redid the mouthpiece, he said, I did it for 3. You know, so I just searched for the reed, and it works really good.
I've got an old Florida Autolink 7 that's been also worked on by Norbert, and it's been the lay's been opened up, so it's more like an 8-star. He said the opening is 119. It's a medium length facing. He also did a little work on the chamber. It's a big, as you know, they're big chamber mouthpieces. And this I play Rico Jazz Select 3 soft unfiled reeds, so it work best for me.
Yeah, I play a Berg Larson 130/1 SMS. It's been worked on, not by Norbert, but by somebody else. And I use a 1.5 plastic cover, Rico plastic cover reed, so I have a wide lay and very flexible light reed. That works for me.
Yamaha Bobby Shoe lead, stock mouthpiece. Same.
Oh, the same one.
These guys are Bobby Shoe disciples.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay, mom's a word.
What's your favorite group that you've toured with?
Maceo Parker.
Well, I would have to say Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah.
As far as playing with people, you mean? Sure. Yeah, I mean, we haven't played live with a lot of acts. We played with Little Feat. We played with Huey Lewis the most. We played with Linda Ronstadt, Eurythmics, David Sanborn, Rod Stewart. We did the last 8 Faces dates. That was fun. But we toured for 4 years with Huey Lewis in the News, and it was when he was like #1 in the world. And that was a lot of fun because we saw eye to eye musically. And also, when we did the touring with Little Feat, you know, we just sort of thought in the same way those guys thought musically. They had a different style of music, but they were passionate about it, and they had a signature to their sound like we did, and it just so happened our horns fit really perfectly with them. We also toured with Heart, and they were a very gracious band.
How many months a year do you guys tour?
We're usually out 200 days a year. That means, 200 includes 20 or 30 travel days or days off. People say, how can you have a family, when you're out 200 days a year? But, depending whether it's a light year or a heavy year, we're home anywhere from 165 to 215 days a year. And when we're home 24 hours a day. In a world where most men are working 5 or 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, and golfing on Sundays, we got a really good family. Plus, we see the world and do what we love. Yeah.
Speaking of, your favorite locations to travel and/or tour or play?
We love going to Japan.
Yeah.
And, Europe has just been phenomenal for us. When we play Europe, it's all kids.
Where in Europe is?
Well, we used to only do Northern Europe, but now Southern Europe's really opened up for us. So we're going to Italy.
I saw you guys in Austria.
Yeah, we do really well
Start
there.
Austria next tour.
Like Austria, Switzerland, Denmark, Sweden, Holland. Those are huge countries for us. Germany, we used to be able to only play one city there, And we went there and we did a TV show called Ohne Filter. And after that, pretty soon we just started, getting all these days in Germany. Then we did Schmitzenegger, which is kind of like Letterman, and we were the house band for the night. Now we go there, we do 10 cities in Germany. Germany's huge for us. Yeah.
Do you still practice?
The band?
No, individually.
Individually. I've never been much of a practicer. I'll be honest with you. My thing has always been the band. That's my instrument. And over the years, I've rehearsed this band more than you could possibly imagine. I mean, we used to, back in the day, we used to rehearse every single day. You know, we would come home from the road, you'd have one day to get yourself together, and then it was just a known fact. At 11 o'clock every day, you were meeting at the rehearsal hall, you know, and you were there till like 5. You know, we rehearsed all the time. Now, you know, we're all grown, we got wives and kids, we live all over the planet, you know, so it's a logistical nightmare just to get together. But, so we do most of our rehearsing at sound checks. Sometimes if we want to tune up for the year, we'll set aside a week in January, and we'll just go into a rehearsal hall and, you know, just update the catalog.
We're making a record.
Yeah, right now I'm recording an album, and I'm trying to make the best record of my career. So I'm doing the Michael Jackson. I'm going to record 25 songs and pick the best 12. And so, and when I'm doing it between touring, and you know, I got to make sure anytime I want to go in, are the guys available? Because everybody's got all these other commitments, and so it's difficult. It's taken a long time, but I have 17 tracks cut. I'm going to cut 7 more, and I've already put backgrounds on, I think, 12 of them, and a couple of leads. I've done my personal leads, and a lot of the overdubs, the guitar solos and the organ solos. So it's coming along. You know, I think by the end of next year, it should be mixed and out. Anybody else? Okay, we're going to play another one of our most well-known songs. We close almost every night with this song. It's called What Is It? All we're going to play is the bridge, and then we're going to count in the last. Okay? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just comes from Chris.